Why everyone thinks John Lennon hated Hey Jude and what he really thought. Here's the real story. Hey Jude is universally known as one of the greatest anthems in music history. The official story is beautiful. Paul McCartney wrote it in 1968 to comfort a 5-year-old Julian Lennon, while his parents John and Cynthia were going through a messy divorce. But pop culture history loves a good feud, and a rumor has circulated for decades that John Lennon absolutely hated the track. The reality, however, is pure, unadulterated John Lennon. But why he loved it is where the story gets fascinatingly weird. You see, John possessed a legendary ego. To clear up the myth, John did not hate Hey Jude. In fact, he publicly called it a masterpiece and admitted it was Paul's best song. To clear up the myth, John did not hate Hey Jude. In fact, he publicly called it a masterpiece and admitted it was Paul's best song. When Paul first brought the track to him, John didn't hear a song meant to comfort his broken-hearted little boy. Instead, John looked at the lyrics and genuinely believed that, on a subconscious level, Paul was writing an entire masterpiece about him and his brand-new, highly controversial relationship with Yoko Ono. When the song says, "You have found her, now go and get her," John took that as Paul giving his blessing to leave his first wife. John famously claimed that Paul was saying, "Hey, Jude, hey John, go ahead, leave me." When John shared this theory, Paul laughed and explained it was actually about Julian. But John refused to buy it. He felt lines like "you're waiting for someone to perform with" were a direct message about the crumbling of the Lennon-McCartney creative partnership. Despite this ego trip, John actually saved the song's most famous line. When Paul wanted to cut the lyric, "The movement you need is on your shoulder," because he thought it sounded silly, John stopped him and said, "You won't, you know. That's the best line in the song." Paul kept it, and he still thinks of John every time he sings it today. When we review this story, it stands out as a hilarious and deeply revealing window into the psychological warfare of the Beatles' final years. Critics and historians often point to this moment as the ultimate example of how intertwined John and Paul's minds were. Even when Paul was attempting an act of pure external empathy for a child, John could only view the universe through the lens of his own life. It is a brilliant review of how creative geniuses project their own realities onto art. Ultimately, the moral lesson of this story is about the beautiful, unpredictable nature of art itself. Once a creator releases a piece of art into the world, it no longer belongs solely to them. It becomes a mirror for whoever is listening. Paul wrote a song about a child's grief. John heard a song about his own liberation. And the rest of the world found a timeless anthem of hope. Art meets us exactly where we are, proving that a single song can mean completely different things to different people and still be absolutely right. If you love deep dives into the mind and history of John Lennon, hit that subscribe button for more untold rock history.